The massive alien mothership hung motionless above Earth's blue atmosphere, its metallic surface gleaming like polished silver against the darkness of space. Captain J. Park stood on the observation deck of Earth's primary defense station, his hands clasped behind his back, watching the unexpected visitor with a mix of curiosity and calm determination. Lieutenant Nina Kim's fingers danced across holographic control panels, her eyes tracking the alien vessel's every minute movement. The communication systems hummed with tension, waiting for the first exchange. Suddenly, a transmission crackled to life. A creature with iridescent skin and multiple translucent eyes appeared on the main screen. Its voice was a strange blend of electronic clicks and melodic undertones. "Inhabitants of Earth," it announced, "we are the Galactic Confederation. Your planet has been selected for immediate assimilation." Jay didn't flinch. He had trained for this moment his entire career, understanding that first contact could mean anything from peaceful dialogue to total destruction. The alien continued, its multiple eyes blinking in an unsettling rhythm. "Your technology is primitive. Your defenses are inadequate. Resistance is mathematically impossible. Surrender is your only logical choice." Nina looked at Jay, waiting for his response. Around them, the defense station's crew remained perfectly still, their training evident in their disciplined silence. "We do not surrender," Jay responded simply, his voice clear and steady. "We negotiate." The alien representative seemed confused by the response. Its communication systems processed the words, searching for hidden meanings, diplomatic nuances, or signs of fear. It found none. Beneath them, Earth continued its normal rotation. Cities hummed with life. Military bases activated subtle defense protocols. Satellites repositioned themselves with precision. Humanity was preparing, but not panicking. The alien confederation had encountered thousands of civilizations across the galaxy. Most surrendered immediately when confronted with superior technological might. Some resisted briefly and were quickly subdued. But humans? Humans were different. Jay understood something fundamental about human nature that the aliens did not. Adaptability was their greatest strength. Unpredictability was their most powerful weapon. "We request direct communication," Jay continued. "Physical representatives from both sides." The alien hesitated. This was not in its programmed response matrix. Negotiations typically involved immediate submission or immediate conflict. Humans were proposing something entirely unexpected. Nina whispered to Jay, "They're analyzing our communication patterns. They're trying to understand our motivations." Jay nodded slightly. Every second of this interaction was a strategic move, a chess game played on an interstellar scale. The defense station's systems were already mapping the alien vessel, collecting data, analyzing its technological signatures. Humanity was studying its potential enemy even as the enemy studied them. Minutes passed. The silence was more communicative than words. Finally, the alien responded. "Preliminary meeting will be permitted. Location and terms to be determined by Galactic Confederation protocols." Jay allowed himself a slight smile. The first battle had been won without firing a single weapon. Communication itself was a form of resistance. As the transmission ended, Nina turned to Jay. "They didn't expect us to be calm," she observed. "No," Jay agreed. "And that's exactly why we'll survive." Around them, Earth continued its eternal dance around the sun, unaware that its first true test of survival had just begun. Humanity faced its first genuine extraterrestrial challenge, and instead of cowering, they were preparing to show the universe exactly what they were made of. The alien mothership remained, a silent sentinel of potential destruction. But beneath it, on a small blue planet, something extraordinary was stirring, a species ready to define its own destiny among the stars. In a small research facility nestled in the mountains of South Korea, Dr. Hoon Lee stared at the alien technology spread across his workstation. Fragments of quantum drives, energy conduits, and communication systems lay disassembled, a puzzle waiting to be solved. The alien confederation had no idea how quickly humans could adapt. What took their species generations, humans could reverse engineer in weeks. Hoon's team worked in shifts, each member bringing a unique perspective. They weren't just engineers or scientists, they were problem solvers, creative thinkers who saw limitations as challenges. A young engineer named Jae-sung held up a quantum interface component. "Look at the molecular structure," he said, rotating the piece under powerful magnification. "Their technology isn't magic. It's just science we haven't understood yet." Outside the facility, satellite networks monitored alien communication channels. Every transmission, every signal was being analyzed, decoded, and understood. The alien confederation believed their technology was centuries ahead of human capabilities. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Hoon noticed something peculiar about the energy transmission systems. The aliens used complex quantum entanglement for communication, but their method was inefficient. Humans could improve it, make it faster, more precise. "We're not copying," Hoon told his team. "We're reimagining." Within days, they had developed hybrid communication systems that combined alien quantum principles with human computational logic. What the aliens saw as impossible, humans saw as a fascinating challenge. Military research teams worked alongside civilian scientists. They understood that technological adaptation wasn't just about copying. It was about understanding and then improving. A prototype spacecraft engine was being developed in a secured hangar. It used fragments of alien propulsion technology, but the design was distinctly human, adaptable, modular, capable of quick modifications. The alien confederation continued to monitor Earth, believing humans were still struggling to understand their advanced technology. They had no idea that every piece of technology they'd brought was being transformed. Jae-sung's team discovered something remarkable about the alien energy storage systems. By introducing a unique carbon-silicon compound, they could increase energy efficiency by 300%. This wasn't just improvement, it was a complete reimagining of energy technology. Hoon watched his team work, seeing something more than just scientific progress. This was human spirit in action, curious, relentless, innovative. Communication intercepts revealed the alien confederation's growing concern. Their technological reports showed unexpected changes in human capabilities. Something was happening on Earth that defied their understanding. In another lab, a team was developing quantum communication devices that could potentially revolutionize interstellar communication. The aliens had brought their most advanced technology, thinking it would intimidate humans. Instead, they had provided the keys to their own technological vulnerability. "We're not just catching up," Hoon told his senior researchers. "We're preparing to leap ahead." Military strategists reviewed each technological breakthrough. Every alien system was being studied, understood, and then transformed into something uniquely human. The research wasn't just about creating better weapons or faster ships. It was about understanding fundamental principles of technology that the alien confederation had taken for granted for centuries. Quantum computing teams worked alongside materials scientists. Energy researchers collaborated with communication experts. The boundaries between scientific disciplines blurred, creating a collaborative environment of pure innovation. Outside, the world continued its normal rhythm. Most humans had no idea about the technological revolution happening in secret facilities. But those working behind closed doors knew they were writing a new chapter in human history. The alien confederation would soon learn that humans were not just another species to be conquered. They were adaptable, innovative, and ready to challenge everything the aliens believed they knew about technological progress. As night fell over the research facility, computers hummed with calculations, holographic displays flickered with complex data, and a quiet revolution continued, one circuit, one quantum particle at a time. Humanity was preparing. And the universe was about to be surprised. The diplomatic chamber gleamed with cold metallic surfaces and holographic displays. Admiral Sung Choi walked in, carrying nothing but a simple datapad and an expression of calm determination. The alien confederation's representatives sat arranged in a precise hierarchical formation. Curl, their lead negotiator, expected a traditional submission process. Humans were supposed to be intimidated, nervous, ready to compromise. But Sung Choi was different. He didn't start with formal greetings or long introductions. Instead, he simply placed the datapad on the central platform and looked directly at Curl's multiple eyes. "Let's discuss survival," he said. The alien representatives shifted uncomfortably. This was not how negotiations typically proceeded. Where was the fear? The hesitation? The traditional diplomatic dance? Sun understood something fundamental: psychological warfare wasn't about aggression. It was about confidence, unpredictability, and total calm. Each alien representative wore complex emotional suppression devices, technological tools designed to maintain perfect diplomatic neutrality. But human psychology operated differently. Emotions weren't weaknesses, they were strategic tools. Curl initiated standard negotiation protocols. Your planet's resources will be redistributed among Confederation members. Your population will be relocated to designated habitation zones. Sung didn't argue. He simply smiled. The smile confused the aliens more than any verbal argument could. It suggested something they couldn't decode: understanding, preparedness, perhaps even amusement. "You misunderstand our position," Sung said softly. "We're not here to be negotiated with. We're here to negotiate." The subtle difference threw the alien delegation into momentary confusion. Their communication algorithms struggled to process the statement's nuanced meaning. Sung's datapad suddenly projected complex economic models, technological progression charts, and strategic resource distributions. The presentation wasn't aggressive. It was matter-of-fact, almost casual. He demonstrated humanity's potential not through threats, but through pure, calm information. Each chart showed how human adaptability could transform potential limitations into extraordinary opportunities. The alien confederation had encountered thousands of civilizations. Most begged. Some threatened. Humans were doing something entirely unexpected: they were presenting themselves as equals before any conflict even began. Curl realized something profound: humans weren't just another species to be conquered. They were a strategic enigma. Sung discussed potential collaboration areas: scientific research, technological exchange, mutual exploration. He spoke as if the Confederation's initial invasion plans were merely a misunderstanding between potential partners. His psychological approach was brilliant. He transformed a potential conflict into a potential partnership, without ever directly challenging the Confederation's initial aggressive stance. The diplomatic chamber's temperature seemed to drop. Not from tension, but from the cold, calculated strategy unfolding before the alien representatives. Sung never raised his voice. He never showed anger or fear. He simply presented humanity's perspective: calm, confident, and completely unexpected. Alien communication logs would later describe this moment as unprecedented, a diplomatic encounter that defied every known interaction protocol. As the meeting concluded, no formal agreements were signed. But something more important happened: the alien confederation understood that humans were not a species to be underestimated. Sung walked out of the chamber, his datapad tucked casually under his arm. Behind him, the alien representatives exchanged confused glances, their sophisticated communication systems struggling to process what had just occurred. Humanity had just demonstrated that the most powerful weapon wasn't technology or force. It was the ability to remain completely, strategically calm in the face of potential destruction. The psychological confrontation was over. And humans had won without firing a single shot. The first alien assault waves arrived expecting total submission. Instead, they found something entirely unexpected: human military precision mixed with creative chaos. Captain Mirachen's squadron moved like liquid mercury across the star system. Traditional alien battle strategies crumbled against humanity's adaptive warfare techniques. Where alien ships moved in predictable geometric patterns, human vessels zigzagged, used gravitational slingshots, and employed tactics that seemed almost random but were actually carefully calculated. Earth's defense systems had been quietly preparing. Underground research facilities had been developing hybrid technologies that combined alien systems with human ingenuity. Quantum communication networks allowed instantaneous strategic adjustments. Every human ship became a potential command center, capable of independent decision-making. The alien confederation had massive ships with overwhelming firepower. Humans had something more dangerous: adaptability and unpredictability. One alien commander watched in growing horror as human squadrons transformed battlefield dynamics in real time. They weren't just fighting, they were reimagining combat itself. A human destroyer would purposely allow itself to appear vulnerable, drawing alien ships into carefully prepared tactical traps. Another would use asteroid fields as mobile shield generators, something no alien species had ever conceived. Myra's communication with ground control was minimal. Each squadron operated with remarkable autonomy, understanding broader strategic objectives without constant micromanagement. This was fundamentally different from alien military structures, which relied on centralized command. Target identified, Myra spoke calmly. Executing unorthodox approach. Her squadron's movement defied standard combat algorithms. They weren't just fighting, they were solving a complex, three-dimensional chess problem where every move had multiple potential outcomes. The alien confederation had technological superiority. Humans had strategic creativity. Massive alien battleships, designed for straightforward confrontations, found themselves outmaneuvered by smaller, more agile human vessels. Each human ship was essentially a floating computer, capable of making split-second tactical decisions. Military analysts watching the conflict realized something profound: humans weren't trying to match alien technology. They were finding its weaknesses. A human engineering team had discovered that alien quantum shields had specific frequency vulnerabilities. By developing targeted electromagnetic pulses, they could temporarily disable these advanced defensive systems. In space battles spanning multiple star systems, human forces demonstrated something truly terrifying: they were learning and adapting faster than the alien confederation could respond. Strategic command centers on Earth monitored everything. Every alien transmission was analyzed, every movement tracked. Humans were turning the Confederation's own communication networks into intelligence-gathering tools. The psychological impact was devastating. Alien military units began experiencing what human strategists would later call tactical uncertainty, a state where predictable outcomes became impossible. Myra's squadron represented a new kind of military unit. Part soldiers, part problem solvers, part improvisation artists. They understood that modern warfare wasn't about firepower, but about creative thinking. One alien tactical report captured the growing sense of confusion: human forces do not follow expected engagement protocols. Potential threat level: unprecedented. Across star systems, human forces were transforming military engagement. Small squadrons defeated massive alien fleets. Seemingly weak positions became strategic strongholds. Every alien assumption about human capabilities was systematically dismantled. The counteroffensive wasn't just a military operation. It was a fundamental reimagining of conflict itself. As battle reports streamed in, one thing became clear: humanity wasn't just defending itself. It was demonstrating to the universe that technological superiority meant nothing against strategic creativity. The alien confederation had come expecting an easy conquest. Instead, they found a species that turned warfare into an art form of adaptation and unexpected solutions. Space became a canvas, and humans were painting an entirely new picture of interstellar conflict. The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Captain J. Park walked in. Representatives from hundreds of alien civilizations watched, their collective anticipation thick in the air. Humanity had done something unprecedented. In less than 2 standard galactic cycles, they had transformed from an unknown species to a pivotal galactic power. No one quite understood how they had achieved this so quickly. Curl, the Alien Confederation's lead representative, stood at the central platform. His multiple eyes studied Jay with a mixture of respect and lingering confusion. Humans had not just survived, they had fundamentally changed the rules of galactic interaction. Humanity requests full membership in the Galactic Confederation, Jay announced. His voice was calm, almost casual, as if requesting entry to a local community club rather than a massive interstellar governing body. The council members exchanged glances. Traditionally, new species went through decades of probation and testing. Humans were proposing something different: immediate, equal partnership. Scientific records showed humanity's rapid technological progression. In mere years, they had developed quantum communication systems that took other species centuries. Their adaptive military strategies had rewritten fundamental understanding of interstellar conflict. But it wasn't just technology. Humans brought something more valuable: a completely different approach to problem solving. Where other species saw limitations, humans saw opportunities. Where traditional diplomatic protocols suggested careful, slow negotiations, humans proposed immediate, creative solutions. One elder council member spoke. "Your species has demonstrated capabilities beyond standard evolutionary patterns. Explain your approach." Jay didn't launch into a complex technical explanation. Instead, he simply said, "We solve problems. We don't wait. We adapt." Those 5 words captured something fundamental about human nature that fascinated the entire galaxy. Alien researchers had been studying human behavior, trying to understand their extraordinary rise. They discovered something remarkable: humans didn't just learn. They reimagined entire systems of understanding. The Council's preliminary vote was unprecedented. Instead of the usual months-long deliberation, they reached a decision within hours. Humanity would be granted full membership, with no preliminary restrictions. "Your species represents a new model of galactic participation," Curl announced officially. The statement was both a recognition and a warning. Humans weren't just joining the galactic community. They were transforming it. Scientific exchange programs were immediately proposed. Human researchers would collaborate with alien scientific teams, bringing their unique perspective of creative problem solving. Military strategists from various species requested detailed studies of human tactical approaches. How could a relatively young species develop such innovative combat strategies? Economic models were being rewritten. Human economic theories suggested dynamic, adaptive systems instead of rigid, traditional structures. Other species began studying these approaches with growing interest. The transformation wasn't just external. Humanity was changing how the galaxy understood potential, adaptation, and progress. Jay understood the deeper implications. This wasn't just about technology or military power. It was about showing the universe that limitations were mostly mental constructs. As the official membership ceremony concluded, alien representatives realized something profound: humanity wasn't just another species joining a galactic community. They were introducing an entirely new way of existing. The galaxy would never be the same.